All right. Well, I'm going to try now for the fourth time to try to make this stupid video. Today, I thought I'd do something, again, kind of a little bit different. I changed the background slightly. Bear with me if anybody's watching this. I'm just trying different things, trying to see what looks good. If you have any suggestions, absolutely put it in the comments. If you want, if you have any suggestions as far as background that may make this a little bit more interesting. But right now, I've just got my three of my NECA figures just kind of stuck up there. With I love the artwork on them. But anyway, first I want to start off by saying I did get a new subscriber yesterday, which I thought was really cool, by the name of Chris Lewis. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the channel. I really appreciate you subscribing to me. That means a lot to me, more than you'll probably ever know. And so, Chris, this video, I see that you're a Friday the 13th fan, so you may enjoy this. You may actually hate me after this, after I do my ranking, but we'll see how it goes. So anyway, Chris Lewis, thank you very much for becoming a subscriber to the channel. I very much appreciate it. So this is my 13th review on the channel. So I thought I would do something just a Friday the 13th related, most definitely. Especially with, if you've watched some of my past, the past couple videos I did in the past week or so, you've probably heard me say that I've been watching all of the Friday the 13th films. I was going to do a full review of the series, but I don't think I'm going to do that right now. I think I'll do that later. Maybe I'll do it on Friday the Friday the 13th that's coming up. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But today, what I'm going to do is, since I ranked all the Texas Chainsaws, because those were fresh in my mind, now all the Friday the 13th are fresh in my mind, so I'm going to rank those. So don't take this ranking to heart. This isn't like set in stone. I very well may change this one day. This is just how I feel right now. To be honest with you, even kind of looking at it now, I'm kind of second guessing some of my choices, but it is what it is. It's whatever, we'll just kind of move on with it. Everybody has their own personal favorites for one reason or another, so let me get into this. So alright, so there's 12 of these damn movies. So, number 12 on my list, this is from worst to best. I do enjoy all of them for one reason or another. I don't hate any of these, so don't take this as criticism on any of them. I will point out my criticisms. I'll just say that. So, number 12 on the list is going to be Jason Goes to Hell. So, I do enjoy this movie because some of the kills are a lot of fun. I was going to say, they're really, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It has really nice kills in it. Some really nice gore, gore effects. They do set up some really interesting kind of, I guess you could say, background lore, on Jason Voorhees in this film, which I thought was really interesting because we hadn't really gotten that, we hadn't gotten that before. But basically, if you don't know, this film, this is not. I mean, technically, Jason is in this film killing, but not really at the same time. It's a very kind of odd concept. I'm not the biggest fan of it, especially for Friday the 13th, because I want to see Jason killing people. That's what I come to these damn movies for. So, but I will say, this one, the ending, is great. Whenever I was a kid, the ending of this movie blew me away. I was so freaking excited. If you know what happens, you know what happens. If you don't, I'm definitely not going to spoil it for you. Just watch the ending. You know what I mean? It's great. It sets up something for later. That's freaking cool. Anyway, the ending of this is really cool. But yeah, number 12 is Jason Goes to Hell. Also, Jason does look like a tumor-ridden ball sack in that movie, so that's another reason when you do see him. So, yeah. Anyway, number 11 is going to be part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. I'm sorry. but no, this one might be a little controversial because this might be actually very high in a lot of people's lists, but it is not in mine. Even after going, especially after going back and watching it again. I remember just watching it the other day and I was like, oh my God, why did they do this? Or why did they do that? Or why did they do that? You know what I mean? Like, so they've changed the look of Jason, not just adult Jason, but but child Jason. They've changed that. The whole movie, or I'm sorry, the first half of the movie is not even in Manhattan. You're on a boat, which honestly, I would have rather had the whole movie on a boat if I'm being completely honest, because when they do finally put Jason in Manhattan, he doesn't do what you would think he would do. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you think you would turn this immortal mass killer loose in Manhattan, you know, in a giant city, and he would just be murdering everything that crossed his path. But he doesn't. I was going to say, on one scene, he actually walks past people and scares them off by showing them his ugly-ass face. Which he's got an ugly, ugly-ass face in this movie. Looks completely different. Oh, sorry about that. He looks more like the chocolate lady from SpongeBob to me. He looks like they're selling chocolates. That's what he looks like to me when they unmask him at the end. That's just me. But anyway, I do, this movie, like I said, it's kind of goofy. They don't do with it, like every time I watch it, they do something and I'm like, why did you do that? You know, anyway, they definitely could have done a lot better with this. Like I said, the first half is a lot of fun. I do like the boat, you know, the boat section, even though it is kind of goofy. I wish they would have just made that the whole movie. I wish it would have just been Jason on a boat. They could have called it Jason Takes a Boat Ride. That would have been a lot of fun. Having said that, this is probably one of my favorite masks, though. Probably my second favorite mask, just because it's different, but not my favorite Jason by any means. But I do enjoy this movie for what it is. Definitely check it out. I never skip it if I'm doing a marathon of them. You have to add it in there. It's definitely a classic Friday the 13th. It's just it was getting very, especially after 8 of them. It's like, you know, y'all could have done something much better. But anyway, that's number 11 is Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. Alright, so number 10, I believe, is Part 10, as a matter of fact, Jason X. So this movie is, the only reason it's under, you know, I'm sorry, yeah, I guess I should say under or over Jason Takes Manhattan, is just because, again, like I said, with that movie, after 8 movies, you're like, you know, why'd you do this? After, you know, 10 of these movies, you're like, holy crap, this is ridiculous, you know what I mean? So this movie, I like it for pretty much the same reasons I like Texas Chainsaw: The Next Generation, in just the fact that it's ridiculous and it's very, it's silly. I don't really care for the look of Jason, Uber Jason, or standard Jason, but just the fact that they took it this far and went to space, again, just after, you know, 10 of these movies, it's a very nice change of pace. It's a lot of fun to just get something stupid. And again, if you know me, I love sci-fi horror movies, whether they're goofy or stupid or they're great. You know, like, you know, Ridley Scott's Alien, or, you know, or whatever. You know, I mean, I love sci-fi horror, but so this movie's a lot of fun. Like I said, just after watching, you know, again, I'll say it again, I'll say it 1,000 times. After watching 10 of them, this one's definitely a nice change of pace. Not very well acted, not very well written, but it's still a lot of fun. Definitely check it out. It used to be on the Sci-Fi Channel all the friggin' time. So definitely check that one out. Number 10 is Jason X. All right. Number 9 is Part 7, The New Blood. So this one, I don't hate it. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't really know, to be honest with you. Okay, I'll put it like this. I like the Jason versus Carrie concept. I really do. But again, I felt like they could have just done more with it. They could have done a lot more with it. I don't really care for Tina too much in this movie, if I'm being honest with you. I'm not crazy about her. I'm not crazy about any of the kids next door, which I'm not crazy about any of them in any of the movies, if I'm being honest. I just come to watch them die, but, you know, it's nice to at least have them somewhat likable. But I didn't really care for any of the only character I really kind of liked in this movie was the wannabe writer guy who is always pitching these sci-fi ideas, you know, to people, and he's always talking to himself, and he wants to be a writer. I think that guy's really funny. He cracks me up. He reminds me of myself, because I'm always, you know, doing stupid shit like that, you know, trying to come up with silly ideas for movies and things that I'll never make or never write. But I do like the look of Jason in this movie. It is a little much, I guess you could say, with all of the bones coming out and stuff, but I like that they kind of kept with the continuity. Like, he's got the axe cut, he's got the machete scar, he's got the cut from the boat, even though it's on the wrong side. It should be on the other side, but what are you gonna do? As I said, but this one is still fun. It's not my favorite. Also, Jason has this strange ability in this movie to just pull random weapons out of his ass. I don't know where he got that from, but every time he comes on screen, he's got some new kind of weapon. Like one scene, he comes around the corner with a friggin' weed eater, you know, and I'm like, where the hell did you get that from out in the middle of the woods? So it must be this shed. There's a shed in this movie. I'm guessing it was just loaded down with power tools and things, you know, that anything a serial killer would need, but Anyway, definitely check it out. Again, I don't skip this one ever whenever it's in a marathon. I thought about just doing the Paramount movies because I do enjoy those. And honestly, that would have been easier to do because I'm not going to lie, this ranking was hard. This was definitely harder than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one because all of these movies in one way, shape, or form do have a special place in my heart for one reason or another. So... all right, so what was that? Number 12, 11, 10, 9. This is number 8, is Freddy versus Jason. I have the single, DVD copy. It's just put away in storage. Y'all get it out one of these days. Now, I almost didn't put this one in there just because I do view this movie as more of it's definitely a Nightmare on Elm Street movie just because I do believe that Freddy is the main focus of this movie. And Jason is more of like not even a side character, more of a tool in this movie, but I will say we do get what we wanted to see when we came to this damn movie, which is Freddy fighting Jason. And it's a great time. It's a lot of fun. I love watching these two just deck it out and literally just beating the shit out of each other. And by the end, they're soaked in blood and there's just... I mean, it's great. It's awesome. I love whenever they do fight. I'm not crazy about the first half of the movie, if I'm being completely honest with you. And I don't really care for the look of Jason. I think that he's too bulky. Like he's way too. He was already a tall guy. The guy's already tall, but they put him in these big old platform shoes, so he just towers over Freddy, which is cool and that's fine. I like that look that Jason is just this so much bigger than Freddy, but at the same time in the movie he just looks so stiff and he moves so stiff. He's like Frankenstein's monster. He's so just stiff and bulky and huge and just I don't know. I'm not crazy about the look. I'm really not. But anyway, excuse me. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I had something in my throat. This is number 8, Freddy vs. Jason. Definitely check that one out. I don't have a problem with it. Again, it's just it is what it is. We get what we came to see in that movie. How about we say that? We all saw what we came to see. Okay, so this next one is probably going to be, actually, the next few are probably going to be a little controversial, but again, I don't really care. It is what it is. This is just my opinion. My opinion's usually wrong if you ask most of the women. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, the next one is going to be Part 6, Jason Lives. So, again... like I said, this one is probably most people's favorite. It's not my favorite. Again, I don't hate it. I don't have anything against it. I'll never skip it in a marathon, but it's just not, it's not a great movie to me. So there's this concept in this film, kind of in the background where Tommy Jarvis again comes back in this film, which I do like, that Tommy becomes a recurring character. Part 4, 5, and 6. There is this, if you've seen the end of Part 5, in Part 6, it's kind of implied, or at least the sheriff thinks that Tommy is the killer. They think that he's being a copycat Jason and going around and murdering these kids and stuff, which we know that that's not true because we see him come up, from the grave in the beginning. But how much more fun would that have been, to me anyway? It would have been so much more fun if the beginning of the movie, Jason does rise from the grave, but it's all in Tommy's head. It's all in a hallucination. And the whole movie, Tommy is the killer. I would have really enjoyed that. That would have been a great time. But again, going back to the fact that everybody hates Part 5 with a purple passion, I could see why they didn't do that in this one. But I just thought that would have been really cool. The kills are a lot of fun in this movie. I think Jason looks pretty cool in this movie. I don't have a problem with the look of him by any means. The main problem I have is that it's very goofy. Like the movie to me just feels really silly. And almost like if I were to show a child who was getting into Friday the 13th, and they wanted to watch, they wanted to watch a Friday the 13th film for the first time, I would absolutely show them this one. Because this one to me, even though, like I said, it has some good kills and stuff like that, to me it honestly, of the Paramount movies especially, it feels a little bit more tame compared to some of the other ones. We don't get any titties in this movie. That's for starters, but we do get some good gore, some good violence. Nothing over the top, but at the same time, like I said, I'm not I'm just not crazy about this movie. I know some people I know hate this movie with a passion, but I don't hate it. It's not my favorite by any means. But again, it's still a fun watch. I definitely will not skip it. It's always none of the Paramount ones I skip. If I'm doing a marathon, it is always part 1 through 8, no matter what. I'm not skipping. The New Line ones are optional to me, but definitely part 1 through 8 are 100%. I'm gonna watch them, every time. But definitely check this one out. Jason Lives. Again, it's not great, but it's not terrible either. That's most people's favorite. If you're still here after that, this is going to be the next one that might be a little controversial. Some people might put this one a little higher, compared to the next ones I have. But the next one I have is Friday the 13th, the remake from 2009. So I think the main reason I like this one so much is because it's really nostalgic. I remember when this was in theaters, and I grew up, watching especially the original Friday the 13th. Like, I remember I used to rent them from Blockbuster every weekend. They used to always come on TV. Part 5, 6, 7, and Jason Takes Manhattan always used to come on TV. And I never missed them. Anytime I could watch them, I would sit down and watch them. Anytime. So when this one came out in theaters, I thought it was awesome. I was so excited because I'm like, it's back. Friday the 13th's back. You know what I mean? Like, there was a new influx. And I loved I really liked the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. I really liked the Hills Have Eyes remake. And I really like this remake. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Honestly, I really wish that they would have, they wouldn't have done this because they would have caught a lot of shit over it. But I wish they would have done, they almost would have kind of thrown people off. Whereas, you think that it's Jason in the movie, but you don't really see him the whole time until the end. And then it's turned out that it's Mrs. Voorhees. Because when this came out, I was like, well, are they going to do, I didn't see any trailers or anything. I just remember hearing about it. I was like, well, are they doing Baghead Jason? Are they going straight into Hockey Mask Jason? Are they going to retell the original story? Or are they just going to do something, or is it going to be, a Mrs. Voorhees? I really doubted that, Mrs. Voorhees was going to be in this, the whole film. I really doubted that, but I actually nailed it on the head whenever I was younger. I said that they were probably going to do it, they were going to mash it all into one, because that's generally and that's exactly what they did. They basically mashed the first 4, definitely first 3, but the first 4 movies kind of into one, is what I feel, is how the remake did it. And I think they did a fine job with it. I think it looks fine. I think the actors are fine. The gore and the violence is awesome. I'm not crazy about the look of Jason whenever he gets the hockey mask, just because he's got a big old fat neck. I just think that looks kind of silly, but I don't mind Derek Mears. I think he played Jason just fine. I think that's his name. Is it Derek Mears? I'm almost positive. Yeah. Well, one of my cats just knocked something over. That kind of scared the shit out of me. But anyway, Derek Mears plays Jason. I have no problem with that in this movie at all. I think he does fine, and I think the Baghead look of Jason looks even better than Hockey Mask Jason, but he still looks cool. This looks great. I love the cover of it. I remember going into Blockbuster and seeing just a giant display of these. This is probably my original copy I bought from Blockbuster all those years ago, but definitely check this one out. This one is so much fun. I really like the remake. It's not the best, but I will always stand by this one as one of my favorite horror remakes. Most definitely. Texas Chainsaw, Hills Have Eyes, and the Friday the 13th remake. I love those. No problems with them at all. Well, they've got some problems, but I'm not going to address that here. Anyway. Excuse me. So now we're down to the final 5. That was part 6. I apologize. This is number 5. Is going to be part 3. So I really like. I love this one. Again, I don't have any issues with it besides the fact that in the beginning it is a little slow getting into it, and I do think that the makeup of Jason looks a little not goofy, just different. I'm not crazy about the way he looks unmasked in this movie, but if you know this film, you will know that this is the first one where Jason is masked in his hockey mask, and that is just great. I think that that's awesome. I remember seeing that for the first time when I was a kid, and I thought that was so cool that seeing him get the mask for the first time. I thought he had always had it. Getting into these, it wasn't until this movie that I realized that he, because I believe I saw this one first, if I'm not mistaken. Because I remember at Blockbuster they had. I don't think they had the first 2. I don't remember. That's been a long time ago. But anyway, I do enjoy this one. This one's been getting a lot of shit, honestly, online. And a lot of other people's reviews. I've been seeing this one, kind of getting talked down on. But it's still a fun movie. I highly recommend it. Definitely check that one out. Great time. Yeah. So, all right. Sorry, it's hot. Gotta hit the old vape real quick and get me some water. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So number 4. God, what are they doing in there? He probably wants some food. Anyway, part 4 is, number 4 is Friday the 13th, the original. So I love the original film. It's so much fun. It's a great time. It's very, especially in the latter half of the movie, it's very relaxing to me. I heard another YouTuber, I don't know who it was, another YouTuber described it as relaxing. And I agree with that. I wholly agree that when this movie, especially when the rain kicks in and, Mrs. Voorhees is creeping around the camp and picking people off, one by one. Great time. I love this movie. Definitely do not skip the first. If you are a Friday the 13th fan and have not seen the original, I don't know what you're doing with yourself, because this is a damn good movie. Like I said, it's a little slow, and I guess you could even say it's a little boring, to some people, but I don't think so. I think it's a great little, it's a great little, just classic slasher film. It's almost, I'm sorry, it is, classic. Well, now my dogs are trying to get in here. Sorry about all the interruptions here. But this movie, like I said, ton of fun. Absolutely check this one out. Don't skip the first one. It's a fun movie. Very, like I said, very relaxing. And I will also say that about this next one. This is number 3 is part 2. I love Friday the 13th part 2. Again, for the same reason. It's just a great classic 80s slasher. Again, once the rain kicks up and you get into the camp and Jason's creeping around, it's just such a fun time. I love watching this movie. And I'll also say it's a great double feature. You know me. I love double features. If you get the chance, definitely watch these back to back. They're awesome. I love just finishing the first movie and then immediately popping in part 2. It's a great time. Great little, like I said, great little double feature. This is our introduction to Jason. First time we get Jason on screen, and I think he's awesome. I think that in this movie, I guess my only complaint I could say about him is Jason is a little bit of a pushover in this movie. He's not terrible, but he is a little bit of a pushover. He's not the classic Jason that we get, literally ripping people to shreds and just killing everyone, without mercy, and being basically indestructible while he's doing it. We don't get that. We definitely get more of a human Jason, which me personally, I prefer the human Jason before zombie Jason. That's just me. That's just me personally. But definitely check this one out. Like I said, I love part 2, especially the second half. Again, just like the first movie and the third one, I guess, it starts out really kind of slow, so just bear with it. But, to me, most of your 80s slasher films, not all of them, but a lot of them, they do kind of start off a little slow. It's all about the build-up. I think that's what a lot of people's problem is they just want it just right then, you know what I mean? But, it's about the build, you know what I mean? Build the suspense. Halloween. The original Halloween is the perfect example of that. And that movie is timeless. But anyway, number 3 is part 2. Okay, so y'all are all probably wondering which order these two are about to come in, because I'm sure you've done process of elimination and realized the 2 I haven't talked about. So this is probably going to get me some shit, but again, I don't really care. So I don't know what these dogs want from me. Anyway, number 2 is Friday the 13th, the final chapter. So this is the 4th film in the series. Of course, it definitely, 100% definitely was the final chapter, as we can see. It was supposed to be. So they do kill off Jason in this movie, which I really liked that they attempted to do that at least. I was really happy about that, but of course it didn't stick. He makes too much money. But this movie is a lot of fun. We get some great kills in this. This is really when they got the Jason formula down, to the way they wanted it. This was the way to do it right here. Great time. I love watching this movie a lot. I really like Corey Feldman in this movie, even though I'm not a huge fan of Corey Feldman. I thought he did fine as a young Tommy Jarvis. He doesn't bother me like a lot of folks, like he does a lot of folks, I suppose. But this movie is great. A lot of the characters are kind of stupid, but they are likable in their own kind of way. And this is just a great classic Friday the 13th film. Definitely check this one out. Don't skip it. Highly recommend it. All right, and this one is, you can go ahead and turn it off if you want to, but let me kind of defend this one a little bit before you just kind of give me some shit about it. So my number one is Friday the 13th Part 5. So I'll just go ahead and get it out of the way. Of course, Jason is not in this movie, and I think technically he is in this movie in flashback sequences, but the main killing is not Jason. So I honestly think that that's why most people have a problem with this movie. It's just the simple fact that it is not Jason Voorhees doing the killing. But honestly, you really wouldn't know any different unless they, without the reveal at the end. Honestly, if you just skip the end, after he, falls out of the barn, what are you complaining about? Because, this movie is the epitome of classic Friday the 13th. To me, this, besides the fact that Jason Voorhees is not in this movie, this is the Friday the 13th formula to a T. We have got tits, we have got violence, we've got gore, we've got comedy, we've got, in a dark comedy, and not even dark comedy, just people just, and then, just silly characters. This is just, what more could you want besides Jason, I guess? What more could you want out of a Friday the 13th film? This one is so much fun. One of my favorite kills in the series is in this movie, actually, and some of my favorite characters. I love Reggie the Reckless. He cracks me the fuck up. He is so funny. She's awesome in this movie. She's got some great titties. Miguel Nunez Jr., oh, them damn enchiladas! I love him so much. Me and my sister and one of my best friends, we still quote this movie to this day. This movie also, I feel like, is one of the most quotable of the entire series. It is so much fun. I love it. It gets so much shit. And not so much nowadays, but again, growing up, and watching all these movies and loving these and talking about them, this movie got shit on all the time, and I don't understand why. Because I've always loved this movie. It was always on TV. I remember always seeing the trailer, for, the trailer, the AMC trailer for it whenever it would come on the AMC Fright Fest or whatever it's called. I remember all the time. I loved this movie. I've never had a problem with it. I've never complained about it. I've always loved it. And I think it will probably always be my number one because, again, it is just the epitome of classic Friday the 13th. What more could you want? You get everything we want except for Jason. That's the only thing. Also, this one has probably my favorite mask besides Part 8. And I think it's just because those two are so different from the rest of them, as far as how they look, from their base look. They look so cool. I love the Roy mask in this movie. One of my favorite. Yeah. Anyway, so if you're still watching and you haven't turned this off just quite yet, I'll go ahead and stack these up so you can kind of see them. So there's New Beginning, Final Chapter, Part 2, Part 1, Part 3, Remake, Part 6. That is Freddy vs. Jason. New Blood, Jason X, Jason Takes Manhattan, and Jason Goes to Hell. So there they all are. Another reason I was doing this is because I do have some Friday the 13th stuff maybe possibly coming in the mail. I will show that off whenever I get that in. So I just figured this was a really good time to do this. And plus, like I said, 13th video. They're fresh on my mind. But yeah, so that is my ranking. Agree with me, don't agree with me. I don't really, it doesn't matter to me. Whatever you think. This is just my opinion. It will probably change because, again, like I said even earlier, kind of looking at this, there's a few that I'm like, I could have put that a little higher than that one, or what? I guess that's how it always is. Maybe I'll revisit this one day because I really like doing. Like I did with the Texas Chainsaw films, I reviewed and then I ranked them. I really like doing that, so I may do this again someday and just see how my opinion has changed. But I guarantee you, Part 5 will probably still stay at the top because I love that movie. I've always loved that movie. It is so much fun. I will watch that one before any of them, to be completely honest with you. I love Part 5. Love, 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 love it. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If any of you guys, who are watching, if y'all want to leave a review in the comment section, or I'm sorry, not leave a review, leave your ranking in the comment section. I will gladly look at them and read them. I always appreciate any comments that any of you guys want to put on there, if you want to. If not, it's no big deal. But if you'd like to, I will definitely check those out. And like I said, don't be afraid to just express whatever you like. I mean, I don't care. I'm not going to come after you because I mean, if you want to put the Part 6 as your number one and Jason Takes Manhattan as your number two, I mean, you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. But if you do, that's fine. I don't care. We all love these movies for our own reason. This is one of my favorite series of all time. They very much hold a special place in my heart, and even though some of them are lower than others, none of them I dislike, really and truly. I like watching all of them for one reason or another. They're so much fun. They're great movies. Definitely check them out. But anyway, if you guys are still with me checking this out or watching this video, stay tuned for the next video. I really appreciate y'all watching. Like I said, leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you want to. If not, it's fine. But anyway, thank you very much. Have a great day. Goodbye.